What up, though, y'all? How y'all living? I came across this story and it kind of interests me as usual. Actually, anything with involving Nipsey Hussle interests a lot of people. But this is more than just interesting. So, from my understanding, it's been three artists that I can think of or see on the internet that was signed to Unique Music. All three of them did. In mysterious circumstances, alleged to be killed by another rolling 60. Crazy. But let's check this out.
Episode, I'll be discussing the life of Sandman the Goose. Sadar Fasai was born on January 12, 1986, in Bulgaria. Although Sandman is from Eritrea, the war between Ethiopia and Eritrea forced his family to migrate to different countries in Africa, leading to his birth in Bulgaria. Due to war and government corruption, the Fasai family could not obtain Sandman's birth certificate, and shortly after his mother gave birth, the family was forced to move to Sudan. In 1993, at the age of 7, the Fasai family moved to the United States in hope of a better future for their family. The family settled in Los Angeles to begin their new life. Sandman was enrolled in school.
Is this story sounding familiar? Sound very familiar to me.
And began second grade at Hyde Park Elementary. He grew up in the heart of the Rolling 60s dime block clique, Hyde Park and 10th Avenue to be exact. In the late 1990s, a young Sandman was already making contributions to the 60s clique that ruled his block. In one incident, Sandman nearly got Drew Down killed.
Drew Down. Hey, Drew Down told this story from a different perspective, but he ain't he ain't lie though. In Drew Down's story, it was more action. He was more I should cut that in.
One day, Drew Down was randomly parked in a red car on 10th Ave in Hyde Park. This was a couple houses away from where Sandman lived. On that particular afternoon, Sandman was patrolling on his bike, acting as a lookout for enemies or cops. Just the night before, Rolling 60 had been gunned down. What up, cuz? Drew then threw up the 5, which prompted Sandman to speed off on his bike to the liquor store to alert were 6 members. A few minutes later,
That's what's crazy. I know some people think that Drew Down did that on purpose, but Drew Down say he had on red. He say he had on the full Jordan jumpsuit with the black and red joints on,
later, 2 carloads of 6 members pull up on Drew and box him in. 2 choppers raised over the roof and were pointed at him, while 2 other 6 members jumped out and swarmed Drew at his car door. Drew didn't even have his car keys to attempt to get away. Drew got Drew down literally, and had to explain himself and plead his case while staring down a barrel of a Tech-9. After a few minutes of deliberation, Drew was given a pass after nearly begging for his life.
For those of y'all don't know, Drew Down like from the Bay Area. He more like a pimp type dude than a gangster. But he did admit to have he was on some pimping at that time too. But and he did admit to having on all red. That red, silly, hilarious that you can't wear a Jordan jumpsuit in the late '90s.
But he was still stuck because he didn't have his car keys. After the 2 cars drove away, Drew ran up in a 3-story building on 10th Ave with fear in his eyes. A homegirl let him in, made sure the coast was clear, and helped him get out of there alive. In 1997, Sandman's eldest brother died from gangrene, and this tragedy took a heavy toll on young Sandman. His brother was always someone he looked up to and admired. From that day on, Sandman began rapping and writing. A piece of Sandman had died, and Sandman the Goose was born. At the start, he was influenced by rappers such as Tupac and Nas. Sandman spent a lot of his time tapping into his artistic abilities, making music, sketching, painting, and drawing. Sandman grew up in a disciplined home with a strict father that led Sandman to become rebellious. In his teen years, Sandman also worked at his family's gas station that was located on Florence and Crenshaw. In 2005, he was recruited by Yahoo and Pepsi as a West Coast representative in a segment called Mike Pass. During this time, Sandman was being managed by Big U.
Here we go again. Here we go again. But then at the same time, when you trying to get something and you ain't got nothing, you might end up around all kind of people, which has made my growth a lot harder than it should be, because as much as some opportunity that people may be able to bring, I'm not sure if I could take everybody that wants to come around and benefit off me now with me. And that's something you got to be conscious of. And there's some people that may come around you now that's not going to want to see you at that other level, and I'm not sure.
Started working with and had on his unique music entertainment label.
Sandman the Goose coming at you. Got next. No, you got now. Watch you. Here we come.
This was before
I don't know what to say about it. And then how ironic he got that same Jordan jumpsuit on that almost got Drew down killed in the same hood. Hilarious.
Big U started fully focusing on Nipsey. Sandman knew Nipsey from a young age as a result of Nipsey's father and Sandman's parents being close.
Sandman, we suck those on this shit. We just all like go off the little neighborhood and we take credit cards up there. Like that shit crack, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
I know what it is, man. Me and Sandman, we bros on many levels. Cut from the turf, day one nigga. Cut from back home, same place I'm from, we got the same ethnicity.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, nah, you know, we descend from East Africa. That's where our family come from, our folks come from. You know, we out here in the
Damn, bro. Now look at these guys in the parking lot Nip ended up owning. You know what's funny about it is I never heard Nip talk about this guy. And seeing this, I can understand Nipsey Hussle's family. I can understand their dismay. I can understand their anger. You about to understand their dismay and anger with overall this in a minute too.
America. My pops came out here when he was 19, so I was born and raised out here. But I'm a first generation out of my family, out of the men that's grown up out here. So, you know, we had a different type of struggle. Yeah, same one nigga. So, you know.
You think Big U came in between them two? I mean, look at him.
We get it though, man. Ain't nothing stopping us. Ain't no brick wall, only speed bumps, my nigga. That's the
mud. We bounce over them.
Yeah, 100.
We don't want no distractions, no interferences out here.
At the age of 19, after years of living the street life, Sandman spent months in jail for an alleged robbery for which he was later found not guilty. At this point in his life, Sandman turned fully to the streets. And by the age of 20, he took a wrong turn in his life and ended up in jail again. After he got out, he slowly started to change his life around. But on August 2nd, 2008, after leaving the studio to take a friend home, he was followed by gang members. After they walked up, they muttered a few words and opened fire. Bullets shattered the windshield, and Sandman was struck 9 times. He was shot in his colon, liver, both lungs, left and right diaphragm, shoulders, and neck.
That's what make it crazy for me to understand with the gang violence being like that and you join the gang, like, how could you have any type of life? How you go on a date? How do you work a job? Like, do everybody have to be like Jody because they in a gang out there? Or does everybody just have money? So it doesn't matter. They don't have to leave and move around. Like, I'm so confused and conflicted with this shit. I ain't trying to disrespect it, but I don't understand it. I don't know that it's to be understood either.
He had to undergo 8 surgeries and was in a coma for 26 days. Miraculously, he was able to recover from the shooting and use music as his therapy. At the time of the shooting, the Centinela Park families and Roller 60s were going back and forth at an all-time high. Sandman continued to push his music in the studio day and night and shoot music videos every week. His work ethic was amazing. On September 27th, 2012, Sandman was fatally shot in the alley on the 4300 block of Crenshaw. The location is in very close proximity to Big U's unique studios. After his death, rumors began to fly in LA that BPS, Troubles, Schoolyard, or the Sixos did it. Many thought the circumstances surrounding his death were fishy. Court records showed that earlier that day, a few 4-Trade gangster Crips got into a skirmish with 40 members at the McDonald's on Crenshaw. One of those 4-Trade members being Oliver. After getting punched in the face, Oliver...
Mind you, none of these gangs are his gang. Now, the 40s is still neighborhood, but they not the 60s. I've been learning.
And a few gang members drove back to their hood park to regroup. About an hour later, the 4-Trade members returned near the McDonald's, in an alley.
Now, anything with a tray automatically makes it a CK. It doesn't necessarily make them a blood, but it does make them a CK, if I'm not mistaken.
where Oliver allegedly fired a weapon over the roof of the vehicle, fatally striking Sandman. 6 days after Sandman was shot, Oliver sent a text saying, "Nah, Shanika just called me talking about I gotta leave LA, everybody know. She said she wanna meet with me and talk, but I'ma tell just about the fight, not the shooting." A week after the shooting, Oliver changed his phone number. And 2 months after Sandman was killed, Oliver was detained. Oliver Goodrich was eventually found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 50 years to life. The family of Sandman was not satisfied with the outcome and believed something deeper happened. Court records said there was no evidence that Sandman had anything to do with the fight at McDonald's, nor was he even present when Oliver got punched. The LA streets been talking, and it's widely believed that the 6-0s allegedly had a hand in Sandman's murder. Many people also compare Sandman's story to Nipsey's, although it is believed at the time of Sandman's death, he and Nipsey were not on good terms, and it's been noticed how Nipsey or the 60s don't honor Sandman's memory with frequency.
And this is where it get real funny at. Because it's like, now make no mistake about it, Eric Holder was a rapper too. So the suspicion is, did Nipsey stand by while that happened and knew it was gonna happen? That's the suspicion in the streets.
Sandman used his passion for music to elevate himself and his family. He believed in the grind and always represented for his home country.
That's what I'm about, man. Teaching everybody out there some knowledge that they ain't seen about, because more out there that we don't know about, that we do need to know about, and it's being blocked. You know what I'm saying? Yep. In order for you to find out, you got to find out on your own and do some research. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, keep people that's on finding out the truth, not the false. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of false out there, false advertisement. You know, do your own research, man. You know, look at the times we in right now. You feel me? Ain't nobody talking about what's going on.
He sound like somebody else. It's uncanny how much he sounds like somebody.
I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Man, I don't know what to tell y'all, but you talking about 3 rappers on you.
Right. If you know y'all not rocking, why you pull up in my space?
Now that's a whole nother other story. And a misleading story. Because like Eric Holder told me, couldn't nobody tell him where he could and couldn't be. And from everybody's admission, Eric Holder done had a few thumps based on people questioning his validity or access to certain areas. I don't know, torpedo mission. But it is kind of funny that Unique Records has had 3 different artists, and all 3 of them has died under unusual circumstances. I hope it ain't what we think it is. But what else could it be? We out. Now you understand why the family can't just accept no stories, man. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. We gonna get into that other shit later. We gonna get into that other shit later.